Hi, I'm William Suarez. In 2006, a book and documentary called The Secret was published around the world. For many people, including myself, this was the first time that a concept like the law of attraction was talked about in a documentary. Immediately after watching the film, I became obsessed with learning more about the law of attraction. I purchased other books related to the same topic, and in a series of synchronicities where one book would lead to another and then another, I found an author who explained this law of attraction in a way that I could easily understand. The author's name is Esther Hicks, and the book I read is simply called The Law of Attraction. I never actually read the book. I purchased the audiobook version, which was read by Esther Hicks herself under some very unique circumstances, which I will let you discover for yourself. I thought that by now, almost everyone in the world would know what the law of attraction is. To my surprise, it seems that a great number of people still have never heard of it, even though they use it on a daily basis. So if you are one of those people who have never heard of the law of attraction and want to know what it is and how to use it in your life, or if you have heard of it but don't quite understand it yet or how to use it in your life, then here I offer my humble explanation. I hope it'll help to clarify it a little more and answer some of the questions you may still have. Here's my little introduction to the law of attraction.
The law of attraction is everywhere, even now in this very room. I'm just kidding. I'm a big fan of The Matrix. But seriously, the law of attraction is a universal principle, so it is in fact present everywhere. It is the energy that causes all things to come into one's experience, both the good and the bad. It is important to note that the terms good and bad are actually subjective. For example, the encounter of a tiger and a gazelle, where the tiger catches the gazelle and eats it, might be perceived by the gazelle as bad and by the tiger as good, but the event is one and the same. From a neutral, non-judgmental perspective, the event is simultaneously good, bad, and neither. It is bad for the gazelle because it just been killed and eaten. It is good for the tiger because it found a meal to feed its little cubs. And it is neither because although the gazelle's body can be consumed, its life, the essence of what it really is, can never be extinguished. This is where the law of attraction lives, in the essence, which is the energy of which all things are made. This energy is everywhere, and we are all made of it. All the planets, and the stars, and the gases of the universe are all made of it. It connects everything and everyone with an invisible fluid which keeps us all in perpetual contact. It allows us to instantly communicate with each other at an energetic level, regardless of physical distance. Distance, by the way, is an illusion experienced only by the limited senses of the physical body. In the ocean of consciousness that is everything, there is no distance. That is why you can imagine being here now and instantly be on the other side of the galaxy. You can be in 2 places at once or 1 trillion places at once. In our decision to come into this physical experience, we agree to follow certain rules of nature, such as gravity, inertia, centrifugal force, and many others. These are not universal laws, but rules that apply only to the physical expression of the universe. The law of attraction is superior to these rules and can actually affect the physical objects, animals, and people in the universe. It works by reading, in a matter of speaking, the vibrational frequency of your most predominant thoughts and finding a match to that frequency in the energy of the universe. Every living thing in the universe has thoughts, from the single-celled organism to the largest creature that exists. From the embryo to the fetus to the fully grown adult, we all think. Not with our brains, as it is commonly believed, but with our mind, which is timeless and eternal, and lives in the essence of all that exists. When you have a persistent thought of one kind or another, law of attraction begins to move everything that matches the frequency of your thought closer to you. Not closer in terms of distance, but rather in terms of experience. You begin by having more thoughts of the same kind, followed by some small bits of seemingly random evidence supporting the truth of your thoughts. If you persist in thinking those kinds of thoughts, they eventually become a belief. And when that happens, law of attraction begins to move people, objects, and events directly into your personal experience. This may sound like magic or mumbo-jumbo at first, but when you understand that everything and everyone is connected at an energy level, it becomes easier to see the science of it. To illustrate this in a familiar term, let us imagine a radio placed on a table in the center of a room. You turn it on and tune it to a local radio channel like 97.9 FM. Instantly you hear the music that is playing at that channel. Why? Because somewhere in the vicinity there is a building with a huge antenna transmitting a radio signal which is vibrating at exactly 97.9 Hertz, or cycles per second. Because the radio has electronic parts in it which have been calibrated to that exact frequency, we can hear the music that is being played at that station. But what happens if you turn the radio off? Does the station stop playing the music or transmitting that signal? No, of course not. Not only is the music still playing, but your radio is still receiving the signal. In fact, the signal is filling the entire room. By turning off the radio, you simply choose to ignore the signal. And when you turn it back on, you focus directly on it. Another way to ignore the signal is by tuning to a different channel, one with music that is more to your liking. Now ask yourself, with so many choices available, would you purposely tune to a channel where music you hate is playing and listen to it all day? That is what most people are doing in their minds, focusing mostly on thoughts that are a vibrational match to the things they don't want, the things they fear, and the things they hate. Worse yet, they are sharing these thoughts with their friends and family, causing many of them to think the same thoughts and attract the same experiences into their lives. That is like seeing a pile of vomit on the side of the road and stopping to stare at it, poke it with a stick, take pictures and send them to all of your friends. No one in their right mind would ever do that. What do most of us do when we see something gross on the side of the road? We quickly turn to look the other way and try to forget the image as soon as humanly possible. That's how you have to protect your mind, by not allowing yourself to focus on anything that can cause you to have a negative thought. As soon as you feel a negative thought coming, brush it off and replace it with a positive one. Don't allow anything or anyone to contaminate your mind with news of tragedy and suffering. When you focus on the problem, you become part of the problem. You can be aware of the problem, but do not focus on it. Focus on the solution. Become part of the solution. First by improving yourself, and then, if you are able, improving the situation. You may be wondering, how exactly do we protect our minds? With so many thoughts passing through our minds every minute of every day, how can we filter out the negative ones and focus on the positive ones? It is nearly impossible to analyze every single thought we think on a daily basis. It is better to identify and eliminate groups of thoughts by recognizing the kinds of thoughts they are. There are basically two kinds of thoughts, negative and positive. The degree of negativity or positivity of a thought can be easily identified by the emotion it produces. Emotions manifest themselves in a kind of scale which goes something like this. At the bottom of the scale are the most negative emotions like fear, depression, despair, and hopelessness. A little higher up the scale are the less negative emotions like anger, frustration, annoyance. Midway on the scale are the more or less neutral emotions like boredom, disinterest, carelessness. Higher on the scale are the more positive emotions like hopefulness, excitement, curiosity. At the very top of the scale are the very positive ones like bliss, joy, appreciation, and love. By simply keeping tabs on your emotions, you can identify the kinds of thoughts you are thinking on a daily basis. Notice how you feel and make it your mission to always feel good, no matter what. I don't mean laughing when others are crying. I mean always find something to feel good about, to be grateful for. Do not join others in their sorrow and misery. Be a light in their moment of darkness. Remain positive and optimistic, and focus on solutions, not on problems. The law of attraction brings to all living things that which they focus upon. From the moment we enter into our bodies, we begin to think thoughts about the world around us. The thoughts of an unborn baby are heavily influenced by the thoughts of the mother, as well as people who are in contact with her. Therefore, a mother should be especially careful to guard her mind from negative thoughts or words or people. Her child has a mind of its own, and so it chooses which thoughts to focus upon, and by doing so, it creates its own reality. Expecting mothers can give their child a better and greater chance at a wonderful life by surrounding themselves with loving, positive people, sounds, and images. This is my introduction to the law of attraction. I know it doesn't answer all of your questions, but I hope it'll put you on the right path and get you curious about finding out more about it. In a future recording, I'll be discussing some practical applications that anyone can apply to begin using it for the purpose of creating more of the things they want and less of the things they don't. In closing, I'd like to recommend some of the books that have given me a better understanding of the law of attraction. I believe that the way one person explains it may be clear to some, but not to others. Therefore, it is important to get the information from different sources so that your understanding is more in accord with your intuition. Now here's the reading list. The Law of Attraction by Jerry and Esther Hicks. The Secret by Rhonda Byrne and all of the authors mentioned therein. Thought Vibration, or the Law of Attraction in the Thought World by
William Walker Atkinson.
Your Invisible Power by Genevieve Behrend. The Strangest Secret in the World by Earl Nightingale. There are many other books and audios on the subject, and as you read the first one, it will lead you to another and another. This is a wonderful new adventure, so have fun and follow your intuition. I wish you all many blessings and great success.